There's another whole number between 3 and 4. Do you know what it is? This genius mathematician came up with this conjecture. He was convinced that there was another integer between 3 and 4. If we can find this number, then we can travel through time and space into the fourth dimension. This conjecture completely overturned people's knowledge. Everyone thought he was crazy. The former top mathematician was locked up in a mental hospital. The psychiatrist found a box of rainbow candies. He wanted him to prove the existence of this number by arranging the rainbow candies. The professor took out a black, red and green candy. Then he took out a white one, and he was swinging it around. He picked it up and put it down, but he couldn't get it to work. The doctor wanted the professor to give up the idea, said the number didn't exist.
Ow! Calm down, Professor. Something was preventing me. I was sitting right.
Then the professor asked the doctor for a pen and paper. He wanted to prove it with a formula, but the doctor refused him on the grounds that he was in poor condition and called the nurse to take him away. At that moment, the professor suddenly saw the marker on the floor. He picked it up when the doctor wasn't looking. Before leaving, he grabbed a handful of rainbows. Then he was put in room 304 by the nurse. At night, when the doctor came home from work, a strange thing happened. The elevator takes significantly longer to get from the 4th floor to the 3rd floor than the other floors. Is there really an integer between 3 and 4? This top mathematician is using rainbow candy to prove that there is an integer between 3 and 4. If we can calculate it, humans will be able to travel through time and space into the 4th dimension. Everyone thought he was crazy. They put him in a mental hospital. The psychiatrist kept recalling what the mathematician had said. In addition to what we experience with our senses, there are 7 dimensions beyond human reach, and the integers between 3 and 4 are the key to unlocking the 3rd dimension to the 4th. Like a crawling ant, he can only feel 2 dimensions. Even if you put it on a wall, it can't feel the 3 dimensions. Humans and ants are the same. Because of the dimensional lockout, humans can't feel. They can't even enter other dimensions. The doctor studied it for half a day and didn't have a clue, so he went downstairs to the bar to relax. But even before he'd had too much to drink, he noticed the peanuts on the table were cracked. Then he turned his head. He saw a mathematician writing a quick equation on the window. The doctor hurriedly chased after him. When he reached an alley, but the mathematician disappeared. The strange thing is, an old TV appeared in front of him. It was broadcasting a news story from a long time ago. It said an old man was killed in a car crash, but the police couldn't find out who he was. It was as if he didn't exist. Suddenly, a little boy appeared on the TV. The doctor took a closer look, discovered that it was actually his childhood self. At that moment, the phone rang. It turns out that everything that just happened was just a dream. The call was from the hospital nurse. She asked him to come over quickly. After arriving at the hospital, the nurse told the doctor the door to room 304 was never opened, but the mathematician had disappeared. When the door to room 304 was pushed open, he was completely stunned by the scene in front of him. The walls were filled with formulas. Did the mathematician really figure out that the number had traveled through time and space? The doctor picked up the pen cap that fell on the floor. Looking at the pen cap in his hand, the doctor suddenly fell into a memory. When he was a child, his mom accidentally killed an old man while driving. At the scene of the accident, there was a marker without a pen cap and some rainbow candies. Before he could get over it, the caregiver picked up the black rainbow candy among the 3 rainbow candies on the table. The doctor tried to stop him, but it was too late. The candy spun in the air. After 3.5 turns, it landed in the nurse's mouth. But the next second, a strange thing happened. There were 3 rainbow candies on the table again. At that moment, the doctor finally recalled that these rainbow candies, aren't they the same rainbow candies that were at the scene of the accident? And the old man who was killed in the accident was the mathematician who disappeared. So the magical numbers the mathematician talked about really existed. He traveled from the hospital room to the past. The doctor's mom accidentally ran him over with her car, since the mathematician was from the future. So the police investigated for many days, but they couldn't find out the identity of the deceased. That's why the mathematician kept saying, there's a mysterious force preventing him from proving this number, and the thing that stopped him was death.